Major international events like exhibitions, sports contests, and music competitions become not only the drivers of tourism development, but also leave behind bright architectural projects that eventually turn into signature cards of the country. In Kazakhstan, such events were Expo 2017 exhibition in Astana, World Universiade Games in Almaty, as well as the 7th Asian Winter Games of 2011. Unusual buildings unparalleled in the world or on the continent are the signature cards of Astana. Built in 2009, at the time of the opening, Astana Arena was one of the several stadiums in the world with an extendable roof. This expensive and complex engineering stunt allowed the capital to become a kind of football center of the country. After all, now in this field, it's possible to train and conduct games all year round, regardless of the weather. Above our head, you can see a metal structure of about 11,500 tons. Most of them are expanding and moving. It usually opens in spring when it becomes warm and closes when it gets cold here. But the season is still going on. Due to this peculiarity, at the beginning and at the end of the season, when the stadiums of other cities are not ready, neighboring teams play their home games at our place. The stadium accommodates 30,000 football fans. Here is another feature of the structure. Initially, the arena was conceived and subsequently implemented as an object for high football achievements. Other sports not provided here. The exceptions are the concerts of those artists who can fill the 30,000 stadium.
Вам, наверное, известно, что самые посещаемые игры – это игры Астаны. Особенно европейские их игры на групповой.
The most visited games are Astana games, especially their European games in the group stage. The stadium is almost full. Recently this season the record was achieved. We had the maximum occupancy at the concert of Dimash Kudaibergenov last year due to the fact that he has a very wide audience, starting from adolescents and ending with the people of old age. Everyone loves his work. All the guests came. The stadium was 100% full.
У нас стадион был заполнен на 100%, если не больше.
Capital's guests, fans, and professional athletes note the convenience of the stadium. Here, not only games are conducted, but also the capital's football club and the national team are training here. If there were 2 or 3 more buildings like Astana Arena, not only in Kazakhstan but in Europe, it would be good. For me, Astana Arena is the best facility I've never seen in my football life. And I think I've seen enough fields and stadiums. People can only dream of such a stadium. Yes, the field is artificial, but it's okay when the roof is closed. An artificial field is also excellent in the frost. There will be frost for 7-8 months and no natural grass will survive. I would give Astana Arena an excellent grade. Synthetic grass was the subject of heated debate immediately after the opening of the stadium, but the authors of the project explained this need. There is no reserve training field at Astana Arena Stadium, so all teams are preparing for the matches in the same place where they will be played. Even artificial cover, not to speak of natural one, cannot withstand such a load. Therefore, they see after the synthetic grass carefully and completely renew it about once a year. In addition, in winter, the stadium's roof closes, which means a lack of sunlight, without which it's impossible to maintain the natural grass cover on the field. But all this does not prevent to conduct Europe League games here, in which viewers become witnesses of a very affecting scenes. High sporting achievements are the pride of the country's inhabitants and another indicator of its image, along with architecture. Kazakh people are especially proud of Paralympians' victories. This year, a national training center was opened for them in the capital. This place should become a point for top-class sports. For athletes, it's a preparation for international starts, and for people with disabilities, it's such a leisure time, a place where they can spend time, talk, take some opinion, and generally improve their health.
В сфере спорта, да?
The building for the center was not built but reconstructed. Therefore, there were difficulties in adapting this place to the needs of athletes.
В Астане на самом деле довольно плоский
In
рельеф.
fact, Astana has a rather flat field, but unfortunately in this existing building there was several elevation changes inside. Moreover, it's very difficult for people with limited mobility, for the visually impaired, or for those who have problems with locomotive system, because each elevation change requires not only steps, but it also requires to set the ramps with a correct angle of wheelchair. Every 10 centimeters of height entail a meter of the length of the ramp. Here there were many of such elevation changes in the building.
Пандуса. А здесь по 1,5 метра в здании было очень много таких перепадов.
There, where it was not possible to get rid of elevation changes with the help of embankments and ramps, lifts and elevators appeared. Particular attention had to be paid to emergency exits. It's important at Paralympic Training Center that in the event of fire, any person, regardless of his mobility, could get out from anywhere in the building.
После того, как мы построили,
After we built the center, Eliana Rodriguez from the International Paralympic Committee came to us. She uses a wheelchair herself. Eliana tested all these ramps for compliance with international requirements. She checked all the evacuation that we have in the building. That is, during a fire from any point of the building, regardless of his mobility, a person should easily evacuate. We even have a ramp to the first floor from the second floor.
у нас даже со 2-го этажа там есть рампа на 1-й этаж.
Here, athletes are trained in 9 sports. It is planned to open several more disciplines in the future.
Бұл ТМД аумағында алғаш рет ашылып отыр, және де Қазақстандағы бірегей.
This is the first Paralympic training center in the CIS countries, and it's unique in its own way. All conditions have been created here, not only for Paralympic athletes, but also for all people with special needs. They can attend gyms and sports clubs here for free.
Барлық жағдайлар өте мүмкіндіктер жасалған.
Та же реабилитация с тренажерами, она очень помогает вообще в жизни.
Rehabilitation with simulators helps a lot in the life of a disabled person. After training at a gym, a person at a wheelchair becomes more independent. He can do some household chores, change from the wheelchair. That's why the body becomes stronger. So I advise everyone.
Она более самостоятельной становишься после занятий в зале, так как укрепляет организм очень здорово. Так что всем советую.
3 gyms are the basis of the center. At one of them, adaptive fitness equipment was assembled for fitness practicing. They conduct training in game sports at other gym, and the 3rd gym is dedicated to combat sport. In our gym, there is a unique treadmill, which has no analogs in Kazakhstan.
На ней можно заниматься на роликах, да, на велосипедах, да, весь сезон, да, учитывая, что в Казахстане у вас в Астане.
You can train on rollers, on a bicycle for the whole season. Given that we do not have mountainous area in Astana, this treadmill rises by 45 degrees and allows simulating the ascent into the mountains. In addition, there are 8 new cameras which give us a video analysis of the movement. Roughly speaking, we can work with one athlete and record his movements completely. And according to his data, we can practice with each athlete.
Отрабатывать с каждым спортсменом.
In addition to convenience for people with limited mobility, the author was faced with the task of making the center cozy and comfortable.
То, что здесь получилось в интерьере, можно назвать таким вот хай-теком.
It can be called high-tech, what we got here in the interior. It's such a very minimalist direction. We left the ceilings open to have as much air in all these spaces as possible, while we were trying to use such furniture and solutions that would be accessible and understandable to the maximum number of visitors.
пытались использовать такую мебель и такие решения, которые бы были доступны и понятны максимальному количеству посетителей.
Special attention was paid to the appearance of the building. The architecture of sports facilities is characterized by dynamics. It's achieved mainly through lines and shapes. The round building of Almaty and Halik Arena, the oval stadium Astana Arena, and the complex shapes of Alau Ice Palace were created according to this principle. However, it was impossible to use such methods here because we had to take into account an ordinary form of the previous buildings. Therefore, we decided to achieve the dynamics by means of contrast colors.
Мы пытались создать некий такой
We tried to create some Kazakhstan style of sports architecture. We have already used this color for Kairat football team. They have yellow color in form, and even their sports chants are yellow. Besides, there is a yellow color on our flag. This is our color, which is very warm, sunny, and at the same time keeps with the canons of sports architecture.
солнечный и в то же время отвечающий канонам спортивной архитектуры.
Graphite gray adds solidity to the building. This color has become a kind of brand of the building. It also goes into the interior, successfully combined with the natural light provided by large windows.
У Международного паралимпийского комитета есть свои фирменные.
The International Paralympic Committee has its own corporate colors, but we did not use them and we cannot do this. But in general, when designing any object, it is advisable to choose two nuanced and two contrasting colors to create an individual environment and recognition. In this object, we agreed on this bright green color. We also used the graphic color as the base one.
Использовали в качестве базового вот этот вот графитовый цвет.
The resulting object meets all Paralympic standards, and at the same time, it surprises with comfort and home atmosphere.
До открытия этого центра, да, грубо говоря.
Before the opening of the center, national teams gathered in those cities where there are such gyms more or less. For example, the national volleyball team was training in Atyrau. Now all the teams are gathering here. We have already held several training camps. One camp was even held jointly with South Korea.
Даже один учебно-тренировочный сбор провели совместно с Южной Кореей, да?
Sports competitions have significantly changed the face of the two largest cities of the Republic, adding jump ramps, skating rinks, and stadiums to the treasury of the architectural heritage. One of the newest structures in Almaty is Almaty Arena, which is a large sports complex that has become the cultural core of the new metropolis area.
Сегодня здесь может быть.
Today there can be a nice show. Literally in a day, it's possible to play football here, and the next day there can be a concert with 12,000 spectators.
Объект очень сложный технически, многофункциональный.
The object is technically complex. There are many functional areas, which are absolutely different. Here it was necessary to place a parking, a nice arena with stands, and a place for journalists, judges, athletes, and spectators in the building. In addition, there was an additional function. This is a swimming pool, a fitness center. It was necessary to put it all together, and as a result, this complex appeared.
Вот все это вместе нужно было собрать, и вот в итоге родился этот комплекс.
The heart of the complex is a covered ice arena of 12,000 spectators. It's possible to hold any cultural events from hockey matches to concerts of world stars of this universal platform. During construction, it was important to take into account the effective use of the arena at the end of the Universiade 2017. So both sports and concert lighting was provided, as well as comfortable zones for spectators, organizers, athletes, artists, media, and emergency services representatives.
В тот момент уже было завершено строительство.
At that moment, the construction of a large arena in Sochi for the Olympic Games was already completed, and we started this object. We also traveled to Finland, studied the Finnish and Belarusian experience. We studied all the newest arenas that were built at that time.
Вот, получается, все вот новые, самые новые арены, которые были построены, мы изучили.
World experience, together with the requirements of the international federations of hockey and figure skating, brought a good result. If such arena with the same capacity of 12,000 people occupies 150,000 square meters, it was possible to optimize Almaty Arena Square exactly by half. Visually, the building is divided into 3 parts, which are interconnected by many transitions.
Четкое разделение.
A clear separation of architectural structures clearly divides the functionality of the complex operation. Right now, we're in the largest circle. We call it Block A. It's in the central hall where 12,000 Arena is located.
12-тысячная арена.
Identical round building accommodates a small training arena for 400 spectators and facilities for sports groups. There are more than 15 of them here in addition to winter sports. There are classes in dancing, chess, and various types of combat sports.
Алматы-арена живет очень активной жизнью, практически в режиме нон-стоп 24/7.
Almaty Arena lives a very active life, almost 24/7, because literally every day from 6 a.m. the training process starts on the ice here. Skaters, hockey players are training here, and Almaty Arena receives amateur and professional children and adult leagues. Hockey players and amateurs train here, and naturally, we receive the training of professionals within the Republican Championship.
Естественно, мы принимаем тренировки профессионалов в рамках республиканского чемпионата.
The central building is specific for administrative premises. Together, these 3 parts of the building represent an unusual form for Almaty citizens. In addition, although high-tech is not a surprise for city residents, spherical buildings lined up with glass have become a favorite place for leisure activities.
Когда разрабатывали концепцию, исходили из функции этого здания.
When developing the concept, we proceeded from the function of the building. It's still an ice arena. Moreover, blue is the color of ice. This band symbolizes the traces left from the skaters of ice skaters. Such figures are beautiful.
Фигуристов такие узоры красивые.
At the same time, glass buildings in Almaty are always a source of concern due to the seismological situation. Therefore, the authors chose the safest place in urban accessibility and took measures to strengthen the arena. The frame has a radial form on the rays of which the stiffness diaphragms are located. These are thick concrete walls which give the building additional stability. In addition, during arena construction, practical measures were taken for the first time to ensure anti-terrorism security.
Когда мы приступали к проектированию, норматив.
When we started to design, there were no standards, requirements for anti-terrorist security of the building. In Russia, it's already common and it works. Being in Russia, we studied and applied it in advance here. On the master plan, we created security lines with regard to anti-terrorism requirements.
Безопасности с учетом антитеррористических требований.
Almaty Arena has a twin brother. In 2017, another high-tech building was constructed at the other end of the city. Halik Arena, justifying its name, has become a real traditional sports complex and home arena of the city hockey club.
В октябре месяце мы в клубе исполнился год, как мы
October marked 1 year since we took the boys. This is a sports reserve for the club, and during the year we received more than 200 children. Accordingly, the training process takes place on 2 rinks. As regards the training process, of course, this is completely delivered at the world level. There are almost all conditions. We have 2 skating rinks, a gym, and an excellent change rooms. I think it will be possible to receive Supreme Hockey League teams in the near future here. The conditions are excellent, of course.
Здесь уже в скором будущем можно и принимать команды ВХЛ. То есть условия все великолепные, конечно.
Refrigeration units freeze the ice, and in principle they can create any temperature, conduct short track, figure skating, and hockey. There are small temperature nuances. For hockey, the temperature should be 8-9 degrees below zero. For figure skating, 6 and 7 degrees below zero. And for short track, it should be about 4 and 5 degrees below zero. Zigor Spuznic is a young defenseman of Almaty hockey team who arrived in Kazakhstan recently. The home arena of the new club pleasantly surprised the guests from Riga. Arena is wonderful. I played in different KHL and the ice is wonderful here. The palace is great. Everything is made for us and for the fans. Here are comfortable change rooms, good ice and gym. This complex is built in the image of Almaty Arena, but it differs in size. Here it's possible to accommodate 3,000 spectators. The architecture and design of the entire building is aimed at maintaining the conditions for winter sports. We have a cooling system with a glycoethylene, which cools the concrete slab 5 centimeters thick. We apply water to this slab, it freezes, and so gradually we increase the ice to 3-5 centimeters. Air dryers are installed so that there is a humidity which should be here. Air conditioning system is also placed here. There should be its own microclimate in the arena for the ice to be in good condition because everything affects the ice.
Чтобы лед был в хорошем состоянии, потому что все влияет на лед.
With the opening of 2 ice arenas, the popularity of winter sports in Almaty has noticeably increased. Fans of hockey and figure skating, in addition to the world-famous alpine skating rink Medeo, received new platforms for inclusion to this sport. In addition, local teams have an opportunity to train at home and increase their rating. Now we are preparing for departure. It's very important as we have 6 games. We have to be ready for it. We must take points and be up in the chart so that as many fans as possible can come and please us and we make them happy with our game. Capital residents are fond of winter sports. Here is a unique Allow Ice Palace was erected to these ends. The arena was built in 2010 for the Asian Winter Games. Allow is a kind of sports gate to the city. This is the first grand sports facility that people arriving in Astana can see.
Которые люди, прилетающие в Астану, гости могут увидеть.
The appearance of the Ice Palace is permeated with symbolism, which is so loved in the capital, starting with the name, which is translated from Kazakh as fire, ending with a color scheme. Everything has its own philosophy. As convinced by the architects, the concept of the Ice Palace encompasses 3 elements: fire expressed in orange, blue ice, and green, which are a symbol of spring and renewal. The authors were inspired by the nature of Kazakhstan in this project. On the facade of the building, you can find images of melted snow and 3 snowdrops. These are yellow administrative towers. However, the heart of this palace is a skating rink. It was given fundamental importance during the construction. From the point of view of climatic conditions, control and the state of ice in Kazakhstan, Allow Ice Palace has no analogs. The optimal conditions existing in allow keeping the temperature and humidity of the air, and it makes possible to produce the fastest ice in the world.
И влажность воздуха, позволяющая делать самый быстрый лед в мире.
A special structure of the roof allows reducing the thermal load on the ice and achieving unprecedented quality. The roof is curved towards the center, thanks to which it's possible to control the airflow. Warm air rises and separates the stands from the rink. Therefore, the audience feels warm and the ideal microclimate is provided for all types of competitions in the arena. The successful engineering solution and the quality of the ice field made Allow a highly professional platform. Over 8 years of work, 9 continental speed skating records have been set here. Sports facilities are not only a way to popularize sports and give a platform for growing champions, but also a significant contribution to inbound tourism. Modern stadiums and arenas provide an opportunity to hold competitions of international scale, where guests from around the world come. During the 28th World Winter Universiade, Almaty was visited by more than 30,000 foreign tourists. The same number was gathered at the center of Dimashq-Kudai Bergenov at Astana Arena. Moreover, international competitions held at these objects add weight to Kazakhstan in the world professional sports community.